So Louise has joined me. Some of you will know Louise, most of you will know Louise, but some of you might not. So Louise works as a biblical counsellor, and been quite a lot of chat just about mental health issues and some of the stresses that come through lockdown. So I thought we'd do every couple of weeks for a few weeks. We're going to do a wee bit of Q&A around some stuff that might be helpful. So Louise, I've got a few questions about conflict this morning. So, okay, question one. How do you talk about conflict when you're both allergic to open discussions about conflict?
So it really is very hard when nobody brings up anything, when you're both keep quiet about what's going on and everything's kind of festering underneath. When I was thinking through these questions, festering was the word that came to mind most often. So keep that in mind. So it can seem like the most peaceful relationship, but underneath there's a growing resentment. Of course, we don't want to bring up every little thing that annoys us. That would drive us all crazy. And we have to remember that love covers a multitude of sins. But if something is consistently hurtful, then we do need to talk about it. Our relationships stop growing if we're not growing in knowledge and love for one another. If we keep quiet, we're in fact moving away from one another. So we always want to be moving towards each other, but examining our own hearts first, building one another up in love. And that should really frame the way that we talk to our friend, our partner, our spouse, our kids. Often when we keep quiet, it's not that there isn't a problem, it's that we're avoiding the problem, and that never leads to a good place. Okay,
but is it not better to keep quiet than lose your temper?
Okay, well, a hot temper is definitely to be avoided, yes. So that kind of anger is actually divisive, and it can be alienating. If you've ever been at the receiving end of somebody losing their temper, then you know that it feels it's frightening. It can feel kind of violent. So if that's your problem, if you're the person who loses their temper, then you really do need to find practical ways to enable self-control. So remove yourself from the situation until you calm down. Maybe, we're in lockdown just now, maybe you need to go to the bathroom, lock the door. But when you do calm down, think and pray. Ask, what made you angry? Examine your heart. Ask, what am I wanting and not getting? So anger is a form of punishment when we feel we've been wronged. It would do as well to ask, is this demonstrating the love of Christ to the other person? So going quiet may seem the more helpful option in the short term, but it avoids what's going on. Undoubtedly, it will eventually come out after the resentment has built up. It's not healthy, it's dishonest. So as Christians in relationship with anyone, we need to be growing in openness, honesty, gentleness, kindness, and patience and grace.
Okay, so say you really annoy me just before bedtime, Louise, and I really want to have it out with you and discuss it, but actually I'm too tired. I think this is going to be a lot of hassle. So I just want to get to sleep. But the Bible says, don't let the sun go down in your anger. So maybe I should have an argument with you just before we go to sleep. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I don't actually think that's a good idea. So I don't think that verse means that you should never sleep until you've sorted all your conflict out. So far better when you're tired and less able to talk well is to say something like, can we talk about this in the morning? But then actually commit to doing it. So that it's not left untalked about. So we are at our worst when we're tired, actually, and conflict that could have a simple solution in the daytime can grow exponentially. The message of the verse is actually to commit to resolving conflict and don't let it drag on. See, in lockdown, we're all under some kind of stress, unusual stress. So the clear message of Scripture in all conflict is to look at our own hearts first. Think about Psalm 139. Search my heart and know me. So
good. Right. Quickly, one last thing. We're parenting, lots of us are having to do more parenting than usual, and kids are at home all the time. We're homeschooling. So how do we help our children to do conflict well?
Yeah, well, one of the most important things to remember is that our people who we're in our houses with are gifts from God rather than obstacles. So it can be really easy for us to view the people who are in the house with us as obstacles, but first of all, view them as gifts. If you're a parent, model conflict well as parents. So that means not hiding conflict and not avoiding conflict, but doing it well. Learn how to do it well. Learn how to model patience, grace, honesty, and forgiveness to your kids. So the Proverbs are great for this. Learn them, teach them. A gentle answer turns away wrath. What a great way to lead on conflict.
Good. I'm sure there are many follow-on questions from that. You can all email Louise or give her a call this afternoon. So that's not answering everything about conflict, but it's enough for the moment. I think in the future, we're going to talk a little bit about anxiety, maybe depression, loneliness, some other stuff that we're struggling with through this time.